It's time to set up your X1 grinder. The first thing we're going to do is want to set up your house blend probably. So you can choose between your left or right hopper. Let's say for starters, we're going to start with our left hopper. Everything on the left side of the grinder now is going to reflect hopper number 1. So if I want to firstly select how many grams of coffee I'm going to work with, I'm going to press here. I can now choose how many grams I'm going to work with. I can either use these plus and minus functions, or I can slide the indicator here, work out how many grams I want to start with. By saving it, I can now go back to my regular screen, and from here I can set my grind and my RPM. Here is where I set my grind setting. Just by doing the exact same thing as before, I can either tap here to plus or minus my grind setting, or I can scroll. The higher in number that you go, the more coarse the coffee, and the lower in number you go, the more fine the coffee. The next thing I want to do is I want to choose my RPM. So if I want a little bit more body out of my coffee, I'm going to probably go with a faster RPM, and if I want more clarity, I'm going to go with a slower RPM. So depending on what I want to achieve, I will now set my RPM and save it. I'm ready to go now, and I can also set up a secondary recipe by doing exactly the same thing, but just choosing between my first recipe or my second recipe. I can do everything the same over this side as well with my second option, but what happens when we want to use the bypass? We want to use either a single origin or a decaf. We're going to be able to set up a recipe by pressing this front middle button, and that will take us to a speed rack of 4 different recipes that we can have ready to go. We can set them up very much the same way as we set up our regular recipes by just clicking on the grind setting and working out how fast or coarse we want that grind to cut. But the only thing we don't need to set is the amount of grams that we're working with, because we're manually front dosing that coffee through here. So there's no gravimetric system. We're working out that coffee beforehand and then dosing it. Once we finish with that, we just go back to our regular front home screen and we can use the grinder as per normal. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more videos.